With the world economy crashing around us, problems in banks, problems in politicians, the churches, people are in stress and fear because, don't know what's happening. So it's indicative of it's time to end that complete feeling of being separate, everybody out for themselves, covering up what's inside, covering up in institutions, what's really going on, and time to be truthful and real and to connect with our hearts. It's our evolution. The Dark Ages have finished, and now with the new energies coming in on the planet, everything is being exposed. Nothing can be hidden anymore. And you see it more and more every day with the truth coming to the light. And it's all coming to the light to be healed and transcended. But if you don't understand what's really going on, it can really freak you out. And especially if you have been, a major player, big man in business, and all of a sudden everything goes belly up, you might get divorced or the company goes belly up, you're completely like, what on earth happened? And so what is really going on is we're finding our way home. It's time to evolve and grow, and nothing stays static. We've had that experience. We found what works, what doesn't work, and so we're evolving into a new era of truth, exposure, and connectiveness. So it's time to come from the head, come down into your heart. And many say, oh, that's so scary. Initially it might seem as if it's scary because we don't want to uncover where we've pushed down the uglies, like being angry, being in a rage, not telling the truth, all of the things we've hidden as seeing as not being perfect or ideal. It's not the face we show to the public. But we're required now to evolve and grow, to become real, to open our hearts, to realize that we're all connected. And I know for a fact the work that I've done, and I haven't required my enemy, the other person, to be with me when I've done this work. When I've forgiven someone or what I thought they did, because it was a story that's been made up anyway, it has a ripple effect. And when I forgave my mother years ago at a conference, and she sent me the biggest bunch of flowers, that was without a word being said. Nothing was said. She got that from California to Australia. She got the message that I'd let it go. And before that time, that was all between us. So the work that I've done, the work that you may like to do, helps the whole family and goes back through all the generations. And it's just incredible. It just seems like a miracle happens every day. And so you don't have to have the permission of the other person. You don't have to, they may have died already, and people get stuck in, they never resolved their situation. So it's time now to do that, because the world is showing us, all the old systems are breaking down. It's just not working for us anymore. And so we're coming to a new awakening. You know, the whole mankind is awakening to the truth that we're actually not just a person here, we're multidimensional beings, we're the universe, really. And so when you open your heart, you discover the galaxy, the universe, you discover how multidimensional that you are. And what a thrill that is. You're not just this little person, you know. So you get to observe your life and go, who was that poor little girl? What was she doing? But when you're buffeted around in the world, and I grew up in terror a lot with my brother. He tortured me. You know, my parents were out and he'd chase me around the block with a carving knife. You know, for a little girl, that was pretty terrorizing. So, you know, and I've worked in banks, I've stockbroking firms, and I've just seen that, you know, there's a lot that was covered up and it's all just coming out now. So it's nothing to be afraid of. It's just the old structure is collapsing. And it's time to awaken into our soul, our spiritual self, the truth of who we really are. And we've forgotten that. And I did myself. I just thought I was that person. I was separate. I was alone. I couldn't talk about my fears because I thought everyone else was better than me and they'd think I was just terrible if I expressed anything. But they were covering up too, you know, playing the perfect game. So we're just coming into a new awakening. We're evolving. And that's what we're here on the planet to do, to evolve, grow. And I thank God every day that I know you don't have to stay stuck in the old paradigms. You know, I know that as a mother, I taught my children unhealthy ways of being. That's what I'd learned from my parents. But I know that that can be all resolved, and we've all learned healthy ways of communicating now. So we don't have to remain stuck. Everything can change just like that. And when we open our hearts, we clear our energy centers, and you know, the cells can flow freely. The cells all know what to do. And if you, instead of going into fear, which contracts the body, gives us a lot of stress, we can expand, breathe the air, and laugh. You know, with laughter, the cells are really just happy and joy, and you find that gives you intense healing if you have any illnesses. And you can just bring the love and the joy right in through your body. So it's like, don't panic. It's just opening up to a very exciting new adventure, which I think it's brilliant. It's just like we've all been actors acting all this out, and then when you see it was just a play, it's like, oh wow, so whole life is just a game, it's a play, as Shakespeare said. And we can open up to our spiritual path, which isn't really going and sitting at the foot of a guru or going into all the dogma of some cult, you know, that might just be replacing religion. But I mean, none of all this is bad. It's just we're all on different paths, but they all lead us home to our source, to God, and it's all okay. That's what we're here for, to learn about ourselves and to learn about being human. And so we're all fine and just having all these amazing experiences. And when I look at my own experiences, what a rich tapestry. You know, to be able to experience the full range of emotions and to be able to really be in moments of extreme poverty, to be in moments of extreme wealth, to be in Buckingham Palace, to be on the boat of the richest man in the world. I mean, what a wonderful experience. To be in Hong Kong, experiencing the energy. And that energy is more intense in New York. It's so vibrant. You know, it's very quick. And things happen very quick, depending on how you're thinking and feeling. If you're positive, you do really well. If you're not, you get sunk very quickly. So things happen very quickly there. And so it's incredible how we're advancing and growing. I think it's just brilliant. So exciting to be observing all these things happening. So, you know, just don't live in fear. Just realize that you are coming now to live in love, and letting go of the ego isn't bad. You can still have it, but you can work with it, and opening your heart and exposing who you are isn't an horrible thing. You think you need a lot of courage, but finally I found that I get really excited when I find something that people don't like about me or they criticize me. Oh, good, there's something I haven't discovered yet. Let's bring that to the light. Or that's a part of me that I haven't accepted, or the part of me that was still frozen in fear. So I see my enemies as my biggest gifts, if I have any left now. I love everybody anyway. So it takes on a whole different perspective. Instead of seeing it as an attack and criticism that I have to defend and pretend isn't there, I can say, thank you so much. I haven't seen that about myself at all. Or you're a bad mother used to be my biggest button. Oh, I am. I concede that I've done that. And really, as a mother, my job is to give you a lot of problems, and then it's up to you to solve them. So it's like that same button isn't there anymore. That same dagger that goes in and twists, and your stomach churns, and you feel like, ah. You've resolved it. You've taken your power back from that, but you've loved and accepted that part in yourself that, you know, as from ignorance, you may have been a bad mother, or you may have hurt somebody unknowingly, or had judgment on something out of fear, like I had judgment on drugs and alcohol out of fear of fear of being out of control, fear of what it would do to you. So it's nothing to be ashamed of or to be afraid of, if you can just open up the can of worms, and you'll be delighted what you find there, which is a rich tapestry of feelings and emotions, and knowing that you are just a unique, wonderful human being with amazing experiences. So you don't have to get stuck in any one of them. You can keep the memory, but let the pain go from it. So then you can live your life without attracting all the dramas and being traumatized once you've dealt with it. Because while you're still holding the trauma in your body, like I had a lot in my throat, you will attract that. You know, whatever we resist persists. Whatever we hold in our body, knowingly or unknowingly, we attract that experience too. So isn't it incredible? I just find this life so amazing and just full of gratitude for being able to experience it. It's such a joy and so thrilling. And meeting so many people who are so different and just seeing right into their soul that sometimes they don't even realize how beautiful they are. Makes me cry. And because a lot of times we look at the glass half empty instead of being half full. I was in New York many years ago after the stock market crash, and talking to a man who owned a big corporation, and his partner had jumped out of the window and killed himself. So the dinner was a bit strained, and I said, well, look at the glass full. You're looking at the glass half empty. You have so much. And he saw this, and I said, the man that jumped out of the window didn't see what he had. He was looking at what he lost. And even if you lose all of your money, with your consciousness, you'll soon replace it. And so it's how we see things. And say, oh, I've lost all that money, I'm going to go into fear. You know, killing yourself isn't the answer, because you'll come back with that challenge next time. So many years later, this gentleman says, you really saved my life. I was considering jumping out of the window myself. So we get stuck when, you know, that what he was saying, he'd lost all that money, that was true, but he still had stacks, more than I'd ever had in a lifetime. But he was just seeing what was lost, and we often tend to do that instead of counting our blessings and see what we have. You know, even as a child having nothing, I had a bit of green glass, called that an emerald ring, and so it was, you know, it's just our way of looking at things. And as a Western society, I think we can learn a lot from Aborigines and people in India, people in the very poor countries. You know, they don't have the money, but they sure do. You see the little children jumping for joy in a ditch, or playing with the cows, or, you know, they have joy in their hearts. So it's just looking at things, you know, with a different perspective, and really not going into fear. And that's easy to say and sometimes hard to do, because you're looking at the news, which is giving you fear pictures constantly. I don't really look at the news a lot now, or listen to the radio, because your whole body is taking on all that stress. You know, there's wars here, there's this going on, bombing here. And the truth is, if we all opened our hearts, we would not want to harm another person. We wouldn't want to steal from another person. We wouldn't want to be unkind or cruel. You know why? Because everything we do to another person comes back to us. You feel it in your heart, it hurts you. When you open your heart and you realize that, you wouldn't even consider hurting another human being. Never mind kill a human being. But if you have killed a human being, I've had a soldier killed people and was so traumatized. You know, you can forgive yourself and let that go because you were ignorant at the time, or you just followed orders. And so by our evolution of opening our hearts, there won't be crime, because nobody will want to take from or steal or hurt another human being. How good is that? Isn't that wonderful? Where we're going to? I think it's fabulous. I'm just so excited to be on this journey. So come and join me. It's great. Love it to bits. Mm-hmm.